Hello, everybody that's watching out there. I know many of you are struggling with your health, and some of you have great health. My goal is to put you in a situation of health freedom. There's a lot of financial people out there that are very successful with their finances in life, and their major goal is to be financially free, where as they grow older, they no longer need to worry about the finances in their life. Now, what does finance have to do with health? The principles of being financially free can still be applied to being health free, meaning you no longer have to rely on doctors when you're older. Just like you don't need to rely on Social Security or some lotto or something when you're older financially. Well, from a health standpoint, if you take care of yourself when you're younger and make the wise investments that do take time, but you put the work in when you're older, you're going to be health free. You're not going to have to rely on doctors and all these other situations that the average person that lives. Most people, when it comes to their health, are poor. They have poor health and no freedom, whether they're younger or older. And you might be watching this as an older person thinking, well, I should have made those investments when I'm younger. Now I have no hope. And that's not true. When I say when you're older, it means older than today. So you might be 60 years old today. If you start making these investments in your health now, when you're 90, it's going to pay off. It's going to make a difference. Just like finances. It's not about getting quick, rich schemes and scams and all this other stuff where overnight you become very rich or very popular or famous or something else. No. If you put the work in, you make the right investments, it pays off in time. And you'll notice that and you'll see that. So no matter if you're a younger person right now who's usually not even interested in health issues or concerns, and unfortunately, many young people aren't interested in investment with money either. They're just young and dumb. But if you think smart about your future ahead, you can make the right investments in every area of your life. So let me tell you what I do in my life. Still, everything is an investment to me. And one of the most important investments I make is in my health. And I think about it to the finest level. I think about it from an organ level. I think about it from a standpoint of every system in the body. I have a book or books that I look at on just how the body works, and I look at people in general and look how people fail. I learned a lot from homeless people. There's some channels on the internet that they interview homeless people. How to become homeless? And people say, well, I had a bad situation that I didn't handle correctly. Some people got caught up in alcohol and drugs. Other people might have been caught up in some other bad accident or something. And I see how these people got to where they are. So you try to avoid that. Well, you can look at the same thing with people that are sick or unhealthy, or people that are overweight. How do you get into this? Well, emotional reasons made me eat more and put on weight. Nobody ever told me about nutrition growing up, so I ate terrible. Or I ate certain things that I know created chemicals in my body that introduced chemicals in my body that gave me certain diseases, because now they're known to cause diseases. When I was younger, I was diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, which is created by overconsumption of food in general, but mostly dairy and wheat products. So I had to make a choice. Do I want to continue to consume dairy and wheat products and continue to deal with doctors and lose my health freedom? Or do I want to be free from this issue and eliminate the temporary pleasure that I get from eating dairy and wheat products, and do my diligence to look at ingredients to make sure there's no dairy and wheat in that, so I could be free medically and health-wise? I don't have to worry about doctors and things like this. So as many of you might think about in your mind at some point how nice it would be financially free in life, whether you're a young person thinking about when you're older, or you're an older person thinking about retirement, how you can put yourself in a situation where you can enjoy the finer things in life without having to worry about money, but you're using your money smart and correctly, where you're saving enough, you're enjoying with what you got, and you're making the right choices, and you're doing the diligence to listen to people that have made mistakes before you and people that have been successful before you. My question to you today is, why not take that same thinking toward your health and make that investment in your health to the highest degree, Whether it is means from exercise to getting up in the morning and stretching, or to making sure you're eating something and reading the ingredients and researching those ingredients, why not? The main reason is pain is a great motivator. Many people feel okay, they're not looking for their health. But when you start not feeling okay, then things uh, start to make you wonder. But at that point, many people are so brainwashed or controlled or convinced to go to a doctor and lose their health freedom. You don't have to go there, folks, and you don't have to be there if you're there. I could tell you every single person, whether you're a teenager in high school or an older person that are going in and out of hospitals every single day, you can make the right investments now in your health and think about this on every level, and you can be health-free moving forward. And that's what I try to do and teach people how to do, is how to have that health freedom where it's not about running to doctors, it's not about worrying about disease or how long you're going to live, or you're going to live with this disability or not. You know, a lot of it is doing the work and doing the research and actually doing it. Stop eating things that are creating the problem. Eat things that are going to give you good health. You know, and as you're thinking about adding things, you think, oh, it might be so much money and I might have to add all these things and everything else. A very wise man told me, health doesn't begin with what we add to our diet. It begins with what we eliminate. Eliminate the things that are creating a problem, and guess what's going to go away, folks? The problem. So make a list of those things you know that aren't healthy for you. And even though if they're not affecting you today, even though if you're just getting away by with it, but you know they're not ideal for you, don't wait until you start experiencing symptoms before you say, hey, it's time to wake up. I better stop doing these things. Start right now. Don't be like, well, I got all this stuff in my house. When I finish this, I'm going to change because I know this stuff isn't good for me. If you know it's not good for you, get out of that mindset of, well, I'm going to eat this and then I'll start. No, if it's not good for you, get rid of it, because everything you're putting in your body that is not good for you, everything that you're putting in your mind that is not good for you, is making a dent, is slowing your freedom down, and it's going to slow the path down to your success. If you know it's not good for you, stop it immediately. If you're hanging out with somebody and you know they're not good for you, if you're doing something that's not good for you, you wouldn't continue doing it. You wouldn't say, well, let me just hang out with this person one more time. If you know that you don't want to be with that person, you don't hang out with that person. Well, why do you continue to eat food that you know is not good for you? So yes, we need to be educated to know what food is good and what food is not good. That includes or means reading ingredients, understanding what's in those ingredients, looking how processed that food is, eating foods as close to nature as possible. Whole foods is the ideal way to eat our foods. Most of the people out there, 90 to 95% of the food they're eating is not raw, ripe, fresh, or organic. You want to make wise choices, and you know, even more important than your financial freedom, your health freedom should be above that. Because if you're not healthy, how can you make your finances happen? How can you take care of your family? How can you do anything? So make it a goal, make it a passion, make it a joy. For me, it's a joy. I want to make sure I'm able to do something every day that I see other people can't do. For example, I know when people get older, they lose flexibility. Now, I didn't make the investment when I was younger to stretch every day when I was a teenager. I only did maybe before if I had a basketball game or something, I would stretch. But I didn't make it an important part of my health routine. But as I look at older people and I see they can't stretch, even people that are skinny and don't have a gut, they can't bend down and reach their toes. I want to make sure when I'm 99 years old, when I'm 100 years old, I could bend down and reach my toes. I don't want to lose that flexibility. So I make it a point every day to make sure I bend down and reach my toes and stretch a little. You know, I want to make sure I might not be able to run as fast as I can now when I'm 90 years old, but I should certainly be able to run when I'm 90 years old. I want to put myself in a habit, a consistent habit of doing these things, enjoying these things, and just making these things, these health advances. And if I skip these days, unless it's a rest day, which I programmed and told myself I would rest today, no, I want to make sure I'm doing this on a regular basis. And the number one area I see people neglecting their health is sleep. Just because they can get through a night and miss getting the proper sleep, they think, oh, I'm going to get away with it. It's going to be fine. But even though you don't feel something, whether it's eating something or losing sleep or not stretching, even though you don't feel it when it's happening, doesn't mean it's not taking a negative process in your life. You want to be consistent at doing the things that are going to produce health. And if you aren't consistent, whether you feel it or not, they're giving the opposite effect. So my advice, my suggestion, and my hope is that you would do things that would produce health. And that starts by eliminating the things that are creating the problem. The things you know that are bad, get out of your diet. That takes knowledge and wisdom to research and understand what's bad and why it's bad, and what to replace it with to make it easier for you to eliminate those things. So eliminate knowledge, or eliminate, educate, and action. Do it. Do it. Make it happen. Your own little program. Get out a piece of paper. Write down your own little program. Okay, every Monday I'm going to make sure I do this. And I'm going to make sure I don't do this. Every Tuesday I'm going to make sure I do this and I don't do this. Make that list and get it done every day. And let that list become part of your investment portfolio. Because you know it's leading to you something better, whether you feel it or not, whether you think it or not. You know it's pointing you in the right direction. What are your goals? My goal is I want to be health-free forever. Now, if something happens, I'm going to not just get depressed and lose everything and just give up on everything. But my goal is where I will not have to rely on doctors at any age. But I'll be wise enough to know when I need to go to a doctor. And if something happens where I get in a situation, I'll be strong enough to get through it, but not just drop everything. It's not as complicated or difficult as it seems, folks. You know, many people, it's mentally that blocks them. So many people need to mentally block out the things that are creating the issue. The mind is more difficult to overcome sometimes than actually physically doing something. A lot of that starts with the vision we're being told from the box in our house. We need to eliminate that before anything. Yes, eliminate your so-called television and live the vision. Have the vision, live the vision, and stop watching the television of people that are telling you things you can't do, and start listening to people like me who tell you what you can do. And you can do it. You can make a great investment, whether it's financially or whether it's with your health or in any other areas or goals you have in life. It doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. Do it. Do it and start today. If there's things in your house or things you're eating or consuming that aren't good for you, stop it immediately. Don't say one last time. And replace it with something that's better. Okay? I hope this helped you all. And thank you for watching. Everybody, have a great day and a great world life.
Nature's wealth, good for you.